We're back with a series of CrunchBites about getting into games. The last one was about just what you don't know what to do. So what do you do? Watch the last episode for that. This one is you figured out what you want to do. So now what? Where do you how do you find more people that are interested in this, like-minded individuals? This is the only way you're going to grow, and the only way you're going to meet people that do this. And our resident expert is John. Johnny?
That is me. So, one big component of, you found your thing and you want to figure out what to do, where to go. I've always believed that online communities are one of the best possible resources for building your skills, for meeting people, for networking, and most importantly, for surrounding yourself with the type of people doing the type of thing that you're also passionate about. Because one of the things I believe deeply is you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So I think it's really important to take the time to find the right kind of online community for you. And that varies very much from person to person. But some of the features that I have found appealing in online communities, like Polycount, for example, and that's where I started. That's kind of the easy, crowd-pleasing default. But it's still a small enough community where you can know people like by name, where they work, what they do. They're willing to talk to you. They'll spend the time to critique your work, to critique other people's work, and to make themselves, vulnerable by putting their work out there, even in like an early unfinished work in progress state. And you'll get people that are also learning like you, but also professionals like working with you and helping critique your work and teach you. But Polycount may not be for everybody. There's CG Talk, which is a massive, massive site where it's a lot harder to stand out and get noticed. But that's an environment where there's going to be a constant flow, massive flow of incredibly high-quality art that could be more inspiring for you to hang around and be in. If you don't necessarily, while you're starting, want to, have a really loud voice or really get out there, that could be a comfortable place for you to kind of get in and lurk a little bit, post a little, but mainly just sort of feed off the energy and excitement from everybody else that's around you to help motivate you and see the other cool things people are doing. Or maybe you'd be into conceptart.org, which is more for concept art 2D artists. You do tech artists. I'd suggest reading Alt Dev blog a day for really interesting articles from people of all disciplines. It's not a forum, it's just a blog, but that's another interesting way to get exposed to really interesting people. But primarily, just try and find a community that really speaks to your needs, that is something that you can get into, where you can find a few people to kind of pal around with and just build all your skills up together. Just find a friend group, find a core, find that little nucleus, then hold on to that. If it's not Polycount or one of those other things, keep looking. Try and find your thing, but just put yourself out there a little bit so you can get a sense of what the interaction's like. What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
What do you look for in a community?
There's, beyond those, is Facebook has pages. Even Polycount has a Facebook page. Polycount's like an art site. I was also going to add, because you said concept art for people that are drawing and stuff. Also, Mapcore for designers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pros there. There's even, so many other social websites. Like there's Pinterest groups that have just tutorials. There's Reddit subpages that some are pretty high active. What else you guys got?
No, just the basic
rules of the Mapcore. Yeah.
Go ahead, Lee.
I'm sorry. I was going to suggest Mapcore. That's where I first got started, was Mapcore. Before I was on Mapcore and Polycount. And then there's another one, Game Artisans is another good one.
Oh yeah.
There's also used to be I think it's called leveldesign.org maybe, but that was another one I found for level designers. As far as programmers go, I think Game DevNet? I think it is. You already said that, didn't you?
No, I don't think I did.
I think Game DevNet was for programmers. That was good too. For tech artists, there's techartist.org for tech artists.
Okay, when it comes to tech art too, a lot of engine-specific stuff is really popular in that field as well. Like say, like a UDK forum or a CryEngine-based forum.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I'm writing all these down so we can put them as resources.
We'll put a list in the about of all these dumb websites, so you don't have to even listen to this episode.
I would say also like when I was playing this game called SWAT 4 back in the
I worked on that.
Back in the ages days. I was really into SWAT 4 and I made a map for it, and I actually joined a SWAT 4 community just for fun, and then ended up my map became part of the community pack. So
Nice.
So that's another way of doing it too. If you enjoy playing a game and there's mod tools for it, like Steam Workshop or whatever, these games, or they find a little mod community that supports it. I know like Call of Duty 4 still has a massive community if you want to make maps for Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, modding. I guess a lot of us were more old school guys, so for sure, almost all of us probably did some mod that ended up getting shoveled into some pack that made a little money, and it was just something you did for free. And all of a sudden, somebody wants to sell it and make you famous. You're not going to make any money, but it's cool, right? That's what
totally.
I always say, mod games. But there's all these communities out there, but how do you know which one's right for you, Mr. Jones? What do you think about that? Like, the right people, the sites or the communities that get enough responses from professionals.
I could probably take that if you want.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, go for it.
So just the rules of the road for the internet apply to everything else. If you want to get respect, then give it first. Understand that other people have been there before you, so take some time and lurk. Like everything else, learn the rules of the road by reading what's already there, find out the tenor of the community, find out at least who the big players are. And so when it comes time to announce yourself, you can do it fully and with the confidence that you're not going to get laughed out of the room. That's important for anything else. I mean, check your own ego at the door, but if you think you found something that might work, then there's probably a few rules of thumb you can apply, like, has it been around for a while, and if so, how long? What are the rules, and are the rules posted? Do they have, like the moderators, are they announced? Do you know who they are, and how often do they come out to play? Is this a very critical forum? Is this a kind of a laid-back place? Does it have places for people to talk about anything, or is it very focused and business-like? All those things can potentially apply to you and can potentially be a hallmark of any of these sites. Is it very professional based, or is it very much about some less than professional or amateur stuff? All these things have a place in the overall spectrum of how these communities can come about, and very few of them can do everything very well. So make some friends and feel things out, but keep those things in mind while you're figuring out what it is you like or don't like about any of these sites.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason to feel like you're married to just one site. It's also worth paying attention to, let's say you post a piece of art or code or something for people's review. Just see how respectful people are when they respond to you. See if people are just really crappy. For the people that do take the time to respond, are they helping with constructive criticism, or are they doing it to make themselves feel better, or are they just posting image memes? Like, try and gauge the level of maturity and make sure that there are at least more like a handful of people on there that you look up to and respect and follow, and aspire to be more like. Or otherwise, why bother?
Just one quick aside on that. I've seen a lot of people show up on forums and they say, hey, here's my stuff, but they're a real jerk about it.
Yes.
And their thread becomes a series of memes and one like little hot shot response like, "Badoots, here's my punchline. Your art sucks." That might sometimes be you, not the community. So be careful about that.
Yeah.
Also,
the one thing to remember is, sorry, Lee, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, sir.
Attention is respect. if someone takes the time to write up something that you presented for, open critique, and you may not necessarily like what they say, look at the intent behind it and understand that, even if the person may have been being a bit rude, they took the time to reply to you and show you the respect of looking at, considering, and taking the time for you. So just no matter what, I'll try and approach it with that viewpoint. They're not out to attack you or screw you over. Just listen with an open mind and an open heart to some extent, and just try and see beyond the words.
I would just like to say that be careful what you type, because what you may think is okay to type, somebody could take it the wrong way. And don't be a douchebag on these forums. You want to be you want people to help you, not be. If you're a douchebag to somebody, you're going to be labeled as a douchebag, and then, like for example, I met somebody who I thought was a douchebag, but he was really a nice guy in real life.
I'm right here, man.
But he but he came across as a douchebag, so he had that persona already. So that's something to look out for. Is just try and be nice. If somebody attacks you, just be like, well, thank you for your critique, but this is what I want to do.
Yes, sarcasm does not work in text format.
No,
never.
Right.
And
so,
if you don't, and this sounds crappy, but if you don't speak English as a first language, don't attempt sarcasm. Like that's nothing against non-English speakers. It's just almost every single horrible, mean, ungrateful troll I've ever read that's posted art and gotten defensive about it. Like 9 times out of 10, it's not as many as that, but a hell of a lot of the time, it's somebody that doesn't speak English as a first language, that everybody's just misreading everybody else's social cues, and it just gets really stupid. Like no one's even being a dick. Everybody's just like, "What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?"
Yeah, train wreck.
Yeah. Language barrier can be difficult. One thing I do when it comes to forums, if somebody gives me some real hard critique, I'm like, "Oh man, this guy, wow, he's rough." I check their profile and see what they've posted. If they haven't posted any art, then I pretty much discard. You got to put yourself out here. Like you said, put it out. If you're not showing your work to gain respect, then why would anyone respect your opinion?
That's an excellent point. And also, when people do reply to you, acknowledge them. Because, I mean, Chris, you told me one guy, you've seen the same portfolio posted for 12 years.
Yes.
He never takes anybody's advice or adds anything new to it. Like, past a certain point, if people are giving you critiques and advice and you're not replying, then there's like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, he's an absolute extreme case, and that's why every time I see when he posts, I go, okay, here's this guy, and I post a link to his history on another forum, where since I don't know how long, but like you said, it really has been at least a decade, same portfolio, same critiques. And I did a paint over where I took his portfolio and kind of adjusted it, made it all nice. Same pieces. It was a sad thing. That's how you don't use a community.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Community is interactive. It's collaborative. People will like you more if you post something, they give you feedback, and then you see it and then interpret it as best you will, and then put that into action. That reciprocates respect back to people. You got to interact. I mean, when you're just joining a forum, sure, lurk, post a little, just kind of get the lay of the land, but just respect the rules of that place and try and fit in, do your thing. But when you are posting, respond, reciprocate, be respectful.
We're in the last minute here. I want to throw a quick point. If you do get feedback and you use the feedback, that's a very huge bonus point. If someone professional or someone that's right gives you feedback and you demonstrate, you understand what they said, and you improved your art, everybody sees that. Employers see that, and they know that at least you can listen. What else you guys got before we wrap this up?
I'm good.
We're good.
Nice. All right. Thanks, and check us out next time.